Thanks for staying with us. I'm John Case. This is What Matters Most. We just spoke to Stephen Tobias and Bob Doherty from the St. John Theatre Company about their upcoming retrospective and awards celebration trilogy this Thursday evening at the Imperial Theatre in St. John. Now we're live in the studio with Jason Perkins, and we're going to talk about participation in sport, particularly basketball. Jason, thank you for coming in to see us.
It's great of you guys to support us again. Rogers has thrown us a lot of support over the years, and I really appreciate the chance to be here.
Well, it's certainly worthwhile. You know, it's important to get kids up and moving.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with youth sports being what it is right now, and the phys ed situation in schools,
yes,
the more outside influences that we have and opportunities for these kids to participate in sports, the better.
Well, certainly. So you're wearing a Lancaster Lynx shirt. Is that your team?
Yeah, I coach a couple teams, president of the association, and thanks to a board of about 12 volunteers, they make me look pretty good, and we
right.
run a pretty good show over there on the west side. But there's also associations in East St. John, KV, Hampton, and River Valley. So there's basketball everywhere, and the Rising Stars down in the south end as well. So there's lots of basketball throughout the city.
Fantastic. So we're coming up into registration season. So how does a parent who wants to get their kid involved in minor basketball, what do they do to make that happen?
Best and easiest way to do it is to hop onto our website at lancasterhoops.com. All the information you need right there. You can register right online as well. We handle all the payments and that sort of thing online now as well, so it's nice and easy. And then there's ways to contact us if you need any alternative ways of doing it. We also work with the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program, so if you're in a situation where you need a little bit of help to get to play, we're always there to help out with that as well. And the Jumpstart program has been great for us too. They bring us a lot of athletes every year.
Sure. You know, we have a really serious child obesity problem in New Brunswick and St. John in Canada. You know, we've got some really good research to suggest that it's fundamentally important for kids to be exercising. And as you mentioned, the phys ed situation in the schools being what it is. So how big a part do you think that you play in making sure that these kids are sort of healthy, happy, well adjusted?
I like to think that with the other sports, we're part of the web that gets kids off the couch, away from the Xbox, off their phone, that sort of thing, and helps them get out. Most of our kids average about 2 to 3 hours a week in the gym. You know, they say that you should try to get a full hour a day of physical activity in for that age group. It keeps them busy and fit and healthy.
Right.
So I think for us, we run a 6-month season. We have a lot of different levels. There's a recreational level for the kid who just wants to learn how to play, and we have a competitive level, which sees a little bit more action throughout the year. So sure. we offer a little bit of something for everyone.
Okay. And is it co-ed, or is there a guys' league and a girls' league?
There's a boys' version and there's a girls' version. We run ages 5 through 17, so we'll go right through high school. And what we like to see is we have some kids who start at 5 years old in what we call the puppies or the junior NBA. Okay. Then they'll go all the way through into bantam and midget and juvenile, and then they'll come back and help us coach. And we see a lot of that. There's probably a dozen or so people right now who are coaching that have come right up through the system over the years.
Right.
And that's been great to see to see them. They always talk about giving back, these coaches who come back. And even myself, when I think about it now, I was one of the first players the first couple of years that Lmba came to be 30 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said you run all the way up to 17, so this goes sort of right through high school.
Yeah, well, as you go up each level in the school basketball, it gets a little harder to make a team. There's only so many high schools. So, you know, if you say take a team like St. John High might have 12 kids out of the entire school,
right.
There's still a lot of them that want to play. They might not have maybe the level of commitment. They might be playing other sports. So that's where we come in. We give them the option to come practice once a week and get a game in, that sort of thing. Still hang out with their friends. It becomes more of a social thing as they get older.
Right.
And as we mentioned before the show started, particularly with the girls group, we like to keep that 14 and up. 14 is the highest dropout rate for females in sports. So anything we can do to offer them the option to come play. Last year, a big win for us was we managed to find 12 girls from around the associations who were looking for a place to play, but amongst all the associations, there wasn't a single team. So we gathered them into one team and we gave them a place to play, provided them with a coach, and they had a great time. And typically we would have lost them from sport.
Why do you think you see that drop in the demographic at 14 for girls?
From what I've read, it seems to be, and from talking to some of the girls,
right.
Social pressures. Playing sports might become a little bit less cool as I don't want to get too much into the social issue here,
sure.
but the femininity side of it, you know, the parents would even joke around that makeup becomes more important than sport at a certain age.
Right.
And sadly, in some cases, that tends to be true. A lot of the best athletes we have, though, right now in my particular association in Lancaster, the female side's very strong.
Right.
And there's a deep commitment from the coaches as well to keep them involved. So the more we can do that sort of thing and provide those opportunities, I think there's less of a likelihood for them to decide that they want to do other things. And then there's other activities as well. Do you like to see them keep active in general?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said between all the associations, you were able to field sort of one girls team. How many guys teams would you have around the city?
Well, at that same age group, last year we had about 40 guys, and that was just in our association.
Okay.
Throughout all the associations combined, if you go from Hampton all the way out to River Valley, there's about 2,000 to 2,200 kids that play in that 5 through 17 age group. But it varies. Like, I know this year East St. John has a lot of boys in their divisions.
Okay.
We have a lot of girls in ours, so it kind of varies. And where we've splintered the association so many, as the population's dwindled, it's become a little bit harder to field teams. But each association manages to survive on its own. And typically there's strong years and weak years depending on what the age classes are coming up.
Certainly. And I mean, when they first come in at 5, you probably have all kinds of kids. And then that sort of peters off as they get older and older and, find sports that maybe they like a little bit more than basketball, although I find that hard to imagine myself.
Yeah, exactly.
And sort of that keeps going. So what are some of the things that you try to do to sort of build that loyalty to the sport as they get older?
Well, we start with we did call it the puppies up until last year, and then we brought in the junior NBA program.
Right.
And you get a fun couple things from the NBA. You get a shirt with a team name on it, and you get a ball that you get to take home.
Oh, cool.
And I think that sort of thing creates that, the poster on the wall effect, so that you grow up thinking that basketball is something that I want to do.
Right.
But you're right. It's also, for us, basketball is an entry-level sport for a lot of kids because of the affordability of it. It's about $100 to $150 to play for a 6-month season, which parents out there right now who are hockey parents are probably fainting, thinking that's probably what I pay for laces.
Shin pad.
Maybe that's right. So a decent pair of runners, about $150 gets you 6 months of basketball. So if you've got a kid who's thinking about participating in sports or looking for that little outlet because they're not getting it in other places, I think basketball provides that opportunity for a lot of these kids.
Well, certainly it sort of has that same thing going for it that soccer does, where you need a ball and a place to play, and beyond that, a couple of kids and you've got a game, right?
That's right.
So what are some of the things that people can do to get involved with the association that would really help you folks out?
Well, we have, like I said, we've got the 12-person board member, and we're always looking for a little bit of help with that. Typically, our terms are about 2 years, and we're looking for more parent volunteers.
Okay.
A little more practical option would be coaching, though. We're always looking for, even if we have a couple coaches, we'll bring in a third, particularly at that younger age group.
Right.
With the junior NBA, it does become almost herding. You'll get 20 kids in the gym, and we try to cap it at no more than that for any age group.
Yeah.
But if we can get 2-3 coaches in there, and typically we draw our coaches from the parents. Or high school kids, or like I say, some of the kids that are looking to come back. It's probably the best way to help out if they were looking to volunteer with us would be coaching.
Well, certainly. And at the minor league level, you hear a call out for coaches sort of all the time. Can you talk to me a little bit, and we've only got a couple of minutes left, but talk to me briefly about what kind of a commitment coaching is at that level?
It's what you make of it. I'll tell my story.
Sure,
I started coaching about 3 years ago in the house program and recreational level, which was one practice and one game each week. The next year, my son took a bit more of a shine to it, so I started to coach the competitive team with Jeff White. And then all of a sudden, it's 2 practices, 3 games a weekend, and the level ramps up. So it depends on how much the fever bites you. If it's something you want to do a lot more of, there's certainly a lot of opportunities. We play in the competitive season about 8 to 10 months of the year.
Right.
So there's a little bit more to it. There's some travel down to the States and lots of opportunity to meet people. So it really depends on what you want to get out of it. There's a lot of options with basketball.
How much do I need to have known about basketball to sort of coach effectively if we're talking like 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds?
Well, we provide the training, and Basketball New Brunswick will come down and they'll do a coach's certification. There's actually one out in the KV area at I believe it's October 4th, next weekend.
Okay.
So it's a 2-day course. You get a number, which gives you the ability to officially coach a team.
Right.
But if you want to just do it casually, we provide you with some documentation, some simple drills, that sort of thing. If you're just coaching at the house level, it's really not that challenging. The rewards certainly far outweigh the level of preparation that's required for it. And you get the bug, and it's something that's hard to shake.
Fantastic. Jason, really appreciate your coming in to talk to me this evening. Wish you all the best this season. Please come back, let us know midpoint how things are going and what we can do to help.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for having me in.
Fantastic. We just spoke to Jason Perkins from the Lancaster Minor Basketball Association. We'll be back after the break with Steve Barnes from Yuck Yucks. Stay with us.